Permanent Secretary for Health and Medical Services, Dr. James Fong, World Health Organization representative to the South Pacific, Dr. Jacobs, Chief Medical Advisor for the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, Dr. Tunrawu, Head of Health Protection for the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, Dr. Aisha Shah Khan, Chief Health Inspector for the Ministry of Health and Medical Services, Mr. Vimal Deo, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and a very good morning to you all. It gives me a great pleasure to join you all in this year's World No Tobacco Day. This annual observance of World No Tobacco Day focuses on informing and educating the public on the dangers of using tobacco. Importantly, today, we renew our collective commitment in the fight against tobacco epidemic around the world, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, stakeholders, as well as we as individuals can contribute towards this cause for our own well-being, as well as that of our future generations. The theme for World Tobacco Day 2022 is tobacco, threat to our environment. Tobacco is solely responsible for over 8 million deaths each year. Of these, 1.2 million deaths are for non-smokers exposed to secondhand smoke. This means every minute as we speak, 15 people lose their lives because of this deadly product. This makes tobacco epidemic one of the largest public health threats in the world, particularly here in Fiji. Tobacco's toll on the health of the overall population and on the working age people translated into significant death, healthcare costs that impose considerable burdens on the health systems. It greatly results in the loss of productivity due to sickness and premature death, which poses a threat to the economic growth worldwide, including Fiji. 1/3 of the adult population smoke tobacco, and 1 in 10 youth use the same form of tobacco. Tobacco use is widespread in our own country, and we witness daily damages it has brought to our country. Each year, Fiji records more than 1,200 deaths due to tobacco use and exposure to secondhand smoke. 71% of these deaths are among those under the age of 70 years old, which results approximately in Fiji $229 million in economic costs. In addition to this, Fiji suffers further economic losses amounting to approximately 12 million in medical expenses as a result of smoking, and approximately 79 million from reduced productivity among workers who fell sick from illness related to excessive smoking. Overall in Fiji, we are being robbed of nearly 3% of the GDP by smoking practices and its long-term effect on our people. The tobacco industry continues to grow significantly, and that has an enormous effect on the environment, which has led to the unnecessary pressure on the planet that grapples with scarce resources and fragile ecosystems. These environmental threats are also well documented at every stage of its life cycle, from cultivation to consumption. Tobacco leaves a significant footprint on the environment. 1 tree lost for every 15 cigarette packs manufactured. Tobacco farming is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emission increase. Cigarette butts are the most littered plastic waste on earth, with 4.5 trillion butts thrown into our environment annually. As a nation with a solid commitment to protecting our environment, we must further invest in tobacco controls to protect our forest, land, and water ecosystems. I urge all Fijians to claim their right to health and healthy living, and to protect our health and our environment, so that our future generations will enjoy healthy, prosperous lives in our beautiful Fiji. If you are a smoker, I encourage you to take progressive steps towards quitting the habit for once and for all. Make good use of the tobacco cessation support by the Ministry of Health and Medical Services and other partners offer. Do it for yourself, your loved ones, and our environment. At this juncture, it would be remiss for me not to acknowledge the technical and financial support of the WHO, Western Pacific Regional Office, and the World Health Organization Fiji Office have contributed to Fiji, and I also thank other partners present here today in support of today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud of our Ministry of Health and Medical Services for its resilience and its focus on tobacco control efforts. And with this said, we must realize that these efforts are not the government's alone. It is equally responsible of you and I. Any tobacco control requires a whole of government, whole of society approach with community involvement and support. Ladies and gentlemen, may the Almighty God continue to bless us, and God bless Fiji. Naka.
Perfect.